What is going on, guys? It is Ahmed and I am back today with yet another video for you all, and today we're going to talk about Zometica, our baby. So today it had a very sideways day overall. Lots of borrowing that we're seeing. So again, people sometimes think it seems like that could be a bot that is triggering this kind of price action, but overall again we can kind of see consolidation, yes, in a downward direction, about 1.82% on the day, but regardless, this is insignificant for something like a penny stock like Zometica. But why am I here making this video today, and why did I want to update you guys? Because of the short interest. So if we go on fintel.io, you scroll down, they have a tab way at the top, because I like to show you guys what I'm doing. You can see here they have the short interest tab. So if you scroll down to the volume, just based off yesterday, so on the 27th, they reported, so there was 57 million shares, so part of the short volume, which is a 40.83 short volume ratio. So that's the total volume traded, compared to the shorted volume. So about almost 41% of the total trade volume from yesterday was shorted. Now, what does that mean, and why does that kind of excite me as someone who's invested in Zometica? When we see high short volume or a high short volume ratio, that could mean a short squeeze is imminent. It could be very well so, but all this means is that, again, we have to have enough people who are interested in the stock continuing to create a buying pressure, and for all those people shorting the stock, I really do hate short sellers. They are people who are ultimately looking to manipulate the market. And in my opinion, they want to get this at a discounted price. They see it going down, which creates a huge selling pressure. And over time, a lot of them probably didn't realize that there was going to be this bounce back, right? It was going towards 75 cents a share. And once it reached that, we saw it bounce up all the way back to almost $1.30, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just look at the 5-day chart. Yeah, $1.28 here this Tuesday, which was yesterday. And then it kind of pulled back down. So now, what's going to happen tomorrow, or what's going to happen for the rest of the week? If a short squeeze does happen, we've seen it before, right? If we pull up, we know what short squeeze the hardest that had insane short volume, near these Zometica levels. We go to GME. So if we put up GME, which is GameStop, you could see here, let's just look at the 6-month. Back on January 20th, a short squeeze was triggered, and you could see it went from $39.12 a share in the span of 7 days, up almost 800% to $347. It was short-lived, mind you, and then it went right back down. But regardless, if we see something like this for Zometica, where if there's enough interest, short interest and short volume, and enough people who are willing to start buying and holding the stock, this thing could really squeeze. And I truly think that is possible, because it's still hot. Under the Reddit communities, and again online, a lot of people are still talking about Zometica. So can a short squeeze trigger? Absolutely. I think it is very possible, but when? That is the only question. If the short volume continues to increase, that only creates more of this potential for a short squeeze. But if it decreases and great news comes out with the company, then the short sellers decide to stop shorting the stock and rather buy in as normal people should. They might end up changing their mind, which of course can make this all dissipate. But am I anticipating that? Absolutely not. So before I continue on, I do want to quickly mention, if you do want to click the link below for Webull, you get 2 free stocks. One for just opening your brokerage account, and a second when you deposit $100, valued between $8 and $1,600. So ultimately, you can make $1,850 for just signing up and depositing $100 into your Webull account. So click the link below. And also for Blockfi, join the crypto wave. A lot of cryptos are going crazy lately. So if you want to join BlockFi, do so by clicking the link below. If you deposit, whatever amount you are willing to, you could see the payout in Bitcoin. So they just give you free Bitcoin for just depositing money. So go ahead and do that. Get your free Bitcoin. And if you don't like the platform, take your money and go with it, because it's free money waiting for you right there. Now, going back to the short interest. So we could see here 40.83. So you could see, had pretty respectable short volume ratio, all the way up to 36.36%. This is the highest we have seen in the last couple weeks, and honestly the highest we have seen probably in a really, really long time for Zometica. So again, when we see something almost a 40, that's nearly a half of the shares are shorted. That is pretty significant, enough to potentially trigger that short squeeze, which should excite all of us, right? And again, different articles are coming out. So from Investor Place, you can see Zomedica stock is very attractive here as the new product launch takes off. And the author of this article talked about how he has a $1.63 price target with potential forecasts from some of the analysts, right? So some analysts are saying because of the direct sales strategy, that's going to potentially increase their revenues. Again, they foresee that Zometica reaching sales of 4.4 million, and then it's all the way up to 15.2 million by 2022. So again, doing a price to sales ratio, and again, you can go and read this. Pretty decent calculations, not the best by any means, but again, reasonable. But you can read through here, and his $1.63 price target is pretty sensible. But again, if a short squeeze happens, I think this thing can literally skyrocket to $2, $3, $4, maybe even $5, right? Easily 5, 6, 7, maybe 8x in the short span. But then a big sell-off as soon as people decide to take profits, which is just natural and makes sense. Now, institutional ownership, I wanted to touch on this because, again, Fidelity Extended Market Index Fund, I'm talking too fast. Let me slow down a bit. So the Fidelity Extended Market Index Fund, they currently hold 3.1 million shares of Zometica. Now, if you know anything about Fidelity, they are a brokerage. They take care of a lot of retirement accounts, etc. So the fact that they're holding 3.1 million shares of Zometica, that's pretty respectable, right? And you can see a lot of these companies, no one is selling out in April. People are just increasing their position size and increasing or starting new positions into this. And I'm not just saying people, I'm saying institutions, the big dogs, right? So we got to kind of pay attention to what they're doing and, follow in suit. So remember, my channel is not for financial advice. Rather, I try to put you guys on the plays that I am in. And I'm just showing you all, again, I currently have not been buying any more shares. I'm sitting at my current shares. I think it's a few thousand, I'm not even sure. Last I checked. But regardless, I am looking at the price action, looking for better entry points. And right now, it's been kind of running sideways. But if a short squeeze triggers, just be careful and be aware that at some point, a short squeeze will kind of clear out. So if you go in, and if you want to know by definition what is a short squeeze, so as a short squeeze, it occurs when a stock or other asset jumps sharply higher, right? So I just showed you with the GME back in that 1 week in January, forcing traders who had bet that its price would fall, the short seller, to buy in or to buy it in order to forestall even greater losses. So basically, it's a short seller is, let's just say, has a 50-cent price target for Zometica. So guess what? They're shorting the stock, and they're basically putting themselves in debt, or they are taking a loan, or buying the stock, or borrowing the stock, if you will. They take that and assuming that it's going to go down. But guess what? If enough people see that the short volume is high enough, so many people are shorting it, and they decide to start creating a buying pressure, buy and hold, what we saw with GameStop stock earlier this year, then guess what happens? Those same short sellers start to panic in reverse. So because it's so green, that for them is equivalent to us seeing a very red market. They get extremely scared and think, okay, I better cut my losses. Let me rebuy them back at even a higher price point, which again triggers this sharp increase in the stock price. So we saw it with GME, we saw it with AMC, Nokia. There was a lot of heavily shorted stocks earlier this year that triggered some pretty nice short squeezes. So if anyone that was a part of that, congratulations, you probably made a killing if you sold on time. And that's the most imperative thing, is understanding when should I sell, right? At 100%, 200, 500%. So again, we talk about dollar cost averaging down, buying the dip, but in reverse, when a short squeeze is triggered, we need to do the exact opposite. Understanding, when we should we exit, right? So exiting at certain price points and saying, okay, at 100%, I'm going to take some off the top. At 200%, 300%, etc. You could do so in intervals of 20s and 50s or even 100 percentage points at a time. That is obviously your decision, and I cannot make that for you. But I will tell you guys exactly what I'm doing if a short squeeze is imminent and if it does get triggered. I'm hoping we see it. The volume is definitely there. Now all it takes is for the group of the internet folks to get together, bind together, and decide, hey, we want to make this happen. Because all it is just all of us coming together and changing the narrative of the market, right? Because right now they're just basing it off of previous trends. But for me, in my opinion, I truly think Zometica as a long-term hold is fantastic. But if a short squeeze does occur, guess what? We're going to take some profits, because why not, right? We are here to make money. That is our ultimate goal. And again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. 22,000 subscribers strong. So I thank you for joining me on this journey. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit like if you haven't. I don't typically ask, but it's always fun to see who's all paying attention to at the end of the video. If you did tune in, all the way till the end here, the last 30 seconds or so, go ahead and comment down below what it is that you love about Zometica, and tell me that you did end up staying till the end of the video. And until next time, keep investing.